Hello everybody, good evening and a very warm welcome to 8 Till Late live on youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep with me, Tom. Before we start, apologies for being a little bit late till 8 Till Late once again. I'm only 3 minutes behind, so I'm doing alright. Also, please excuse the squeaking sound and the dog whining sound that you may be hearing in the background as I speak. That is Bella, who is downstairs just on the landing, and she's got this squeaky toy, and when she squeaks it, she seems to whine. Don't know what it's about, but she's sort of downstairs making lots of dog type noises, so apologies in advance for that. I know it may be slightly disconcerting and distracting. Anyway, great to have your company. A warm welcome back to our live stream once again. Normal service this evening. I have to admit though, our BBS special last week was, I liked it. I thought it was quite fun. I know we had a few technical problems, which are purely down to me. And we got one person through to look at Night Owl. I hope a few of you may have sort of retrospectively gone and had a look. I think Night Owl's been back up since. But I thought overall it was a very, very interesting evening. So a huge thank you to Brian for his participation in making Night Owl available for most of that afternoon and evening for us to be able to look at. Anyway, hope you are doing well. Don't forget, as always, you can join me in the comments. I see Martin is already there. Hello, good evening to you, Martin. I'm sure many will join us throughout the evening. Bella, you can probably hear that. It's because I'm the only one in at the moment. Anna is, that's my fiance, is not here right now, so the dog goes a little bit nuts. But she's just been fed as well, which is like, come on, really? Anyway, I would say good evening, rather, to Sean. I saw Sean the other day. Sean is a friend and colleague from the Salop Amateur Radio Society. We actually had our AGM on Thursday, which was riveting. They got more money out of me as it was subs were due for the next year. So had a drink, two drinks actually. There, so it was okay. It was an interesting evening. Although the projector packed up, and the last time I went to the club, I was actually giving a presentation. You may remember this from a few weeks ago. I was giving a presentation on 3D printing. It was using this 3D printer, and it let itself go, as in it jammed during the live talk at the Radio Society, and it's like. Okay, so I've ended up doing, the whole evening was Tom Williamson presenting 3D printing. And I was there in front of all these people with this damn machine that had clogged up. And so we didn't get anything done. It was a little embarrassing. So I kind of, in any other business during the evening, I kind of went, I once again apologise for the farce that was my live presentation, which was duly accepted, but which is very kind of them. So, anyway, let's have a quick look in the chat. Martin saying, have I noticed that McDonald's have a TV advert that is in familiar format to the BBS? Yes, I have. I've seen something where other people have reposted that. I've not actually seen the ad. So, yes, I have. No, actually, now you mention it, Martin, yes, I have seen something. I need to investigate. I'll have to search that one out. But and we say good evening to Gertmon, who has actually joined us after establishing that Gertmon is 3 different people. Who I thought was 3 different people. No, it's one person. And Gertmon has joined us on Patreon, which reminds me, let's do the members now. So we can say a very warm welcome to David, who has joined us on Patreon. And there is all our Patreon and YouTube channel members that help support and back me and this channel. And it is hugely appreciated. Thank you so much for all of you that cling on every month. I really, really do appreciate it. If you want to assist and join in, you can join on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep. Or alternatively, right here on YouTube, you can join a YouTube membership scheme from 99 pence all the way up to 2.99. and those fees or sums will be converted into your local currency wherever you happen to be in the world. Before we carry on this evening, I think we've got just time for this. Do you have a need for reliable and cost-effective web hosting for your blog, business or personal website? If so, then look no further than Cheap Host UK. Cheap Host UK's basic plan starts from only 58p per month. That's £6.99 a year. And if you're needing a little bit more, Cheap Host UK's premium packages start from £1.41 per month or £16.99 a year, complete with a free .co.uk domain. New customers can also take advantage of an extra 10% discount when purchasing any first-time hosting package or domain name from Cheap Host UK. Use discount code SHEEP, that's SHEEP, to get an extra 10% off. For reliable, cost-effective web hosting and domains, look no further than Cheap Host UK. Full details and an affiliate link are in the description to this video. So full information and details for Cheap Host UK can be found in the description to this video. Remember, 10% discount on any new domain or web hosting service. Just use discount code SHEEP, that's SHEEP. Now, I've just changed the setting on my mic because Gertman was suggesting the volume may have come in low. I think you might be right, actually. I've just upped the gain a little bit, so I'm trying a different mic because the volume has been low previously. So that's registering okay with me. Sean says it was fine. Hopefully that's fine for everyone. Can someone just give me a nudge if that's all right? Also, I'll apologise that I haven't had tea yet. The reason I'm apologising for that is I'm munching on chocolate raisins throughout the stream, which is not great. We almost get to the point I'm going to have my dinner here. Anyway, so a few things to catch up on. The RiskOS Midland show, or it's not a show, it's the Christmas market, is coming up. I'm pushing it every week, so that's over here. So if you can join me, it's a free event on the 9th of December between 10:30 and 4 at Wychbold Community Parish Hall. That's just outside Dwightwich. Yes, I can barely speak tonight. And yeah, so full details of that. I'm going to be there all day. It's not a full-blown computer show. It's probably not worth travelling to if you're more than an hour and a half away from the sort of centre of Birmingham. But it'd been great to see you, and details can be found at mug.riskos.org. Gertman has just said that the volume is better. Yes, I think that was a fault my side. I think I had the gain setting too low on my mic. And I also haven't had a cup of tea yet. I was trying to make a cup of tea rather, and I noticed that we were kind of 2-3 minutes past 8. I thought, are they going to sit there and wait for me to boil a kettle, which is a slow process, or shall I just jump on air and say, hi, I'm here, thank you for waiting? So, I picked the latter. Anyway, what to bring you up on? So, let's just get this out of the way quickly. I don't like to have a downer, but my week personally has been awful. So I've had a delay. You might remember I killed my car last week, so I've had to replace my car. I now have a Citroen C3, which is all right. A little expensive for what it is. Not new. It's a used 2013 plate. And it's a car. It works. I don't massively like it that much, but it's the sort of most affordable, decent thing I could find that I could get quickly because I need to go to work. So that's all been a little bit stressful. A bit of a few little issues today, nothing major, but just tiredness. Yesterday I went into work. I work at Harbour Adams University, and I went into work for Thursday and Friday to finally have my car sorted. And Thursday, I was asked to participate with some second year engineering students who were giving presentations to present their forthcoming proposals for their projects for the academic year. So it's quite a big deal. And so we split the group up. I think the whole academic year was there. So we're talking, oh God, over 100 students. So we split it up throughout the day into different sittings in the lecture theatre. And I was asked to kind of contribute and give feedback at the end of each presentation. For most of these students, bearing in mind their second years, they'd never done any kind of like presenting or standing up in front of people or talking or anything like that. Now, for me, I don't think I'm particularly good at it, but I do it. Well, I'm here now talking to you, so it doesn't faze me to do a presentation and talk in front of people. But then again, I've had the training. I did that with my degree, and I've done it for nearly 8 years here on YouTube. So it's not a big deal. But for these students, a lot of them were absolutely bricking it. Now, to be fair to them, a lot of them put a lot of effort in, and everyone stood up and everyone spoke, and most of them were quite good. But there was one presentation that was just... They'd literally... Bear in mind, these students started September, right? Or, okay, we'll give them October when they started. So they've been, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in at this point. And these are second years. These aren't brand new students. These are second year students, right? So they've already done a year at the university. And I had this brief for... it wasn't automotive. I forget. There was different projects going on, but I was given this brief, so I was roughly up to speed on the project. And these 4 students, this was the third sitting, second group, sorry. So this was now the afternoon, and they got up, all 4 of them, and they had their PowerPoint on the screen. Now, a lot of the other groups had given us additional handouts, and they'd made multiple print copies, and even gave me a copy of like timesheets and scheduling and research they'd done, and even like photographed components, and I'd even done some basic mock-ups and all sorts had gone on. I even had one that did a live like CAD demo of a robot arm moving and showing us visually what they wanted to do. But these 4 students, they showed up and they literally regurgitated the brief back to me, and not just me, there was the other academic lecturers there and also the other technicians, and they just regurgitated the brief. And I hate being the destroyer of worlds, and I always want to try and, especially when it comes to engineering, I want to be positive and productive, but it was just disappointing. It was like, what can you say? It was just, I'll be honest with you, and I said this to them, and thinking back now, it was brutal of me, but they were the second group to go on this project, and I said to them, there in front of everyone else, I said, if it wasn't for the first group had already presented ahead of you, I wouldn't have a clue what you were even doing. It was that bad. They didn't take it at all well. They kind of went on the attack, and it's like, well, and apparently and the feedback afterwards, they weren't happy because I wasn't briefed on the project ahead of time, so I shouldn't have been there, sort of things. Well, that's real life. The amount of presentations I've done where you don't know, the people you present to don't necessarily, or your clients don't necessarily know the ins and outs of the project. That's why they hire you in the first place. So yeah, it was an odd day, and we got to Friday, so yesterday, which was a bit of a nicer day. I was in the lab doing we got the PCBs for the Atlas robot. I did a video on the main channel for Calypso, the Atlas robot, and this custom PCB that sits on this remote control chassis. And all the GPS units on these robots were blowing up. And yesterday, well, actually the day before, sorry, it was discovered. So the Thursday, I discovered that they'd been powered or wired into the 5-volt rail. They're not 5-volt compliant, they're 3.3 volt compliant, so no wonder they're blowing up. So me with a Dremel, soldering iron, had to cut traces on these. I got 16 robots, had to dismantle them, take the PCBs off, Dremel the trace to break the connection for the 5-volt rail, and then wire wrap, solder from point B to point A, a new 3.3 rail line, and then tape that all down and reassemble the robots. And we had to get these done because they're going off to a show in Derby at some point, so they needed to be ready. So that was what I was doing mostly on Friday. And the point I'm getting at, because I know I'm blabbering, but I went for lunch and came out the cafe, which is attached to the library on the campus, and the fire alarms are going off in the adjacent student hall buildings that back onto us at engineering and also the library. And I thought, oh, someone's just burning the toast. I mean, it's students, what do you expect? And everyone was looking very worried, and the fire alarms weren't not, they were still going on, and groups of students were clustering. And so I went up to them and said, is this a drill or is that real? And they looked at me really worried and went, it's real. I was like, oh, well, I can't repeat on here what I said, but SHIT. I was like, oh my God. And one of the flats was on fire. And so two fire engines. Of course, no one had actually notified the engineering block that backs onto where this fire was that there was a problem. So I had to race round to go and yell at the mechanics and say, look, there's a fire next door. And yeah, so that's my week basically. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very, very tired this evening. So I don't know how far we'll get this evening and if I'll make much sense. But anyway, I very much appreciate your company this evening and for listening to me waffle on. What we're going to do very shortly is we're going to get on with the Tiny Basic prototype build, which is different to the Tiny Basic video series. So the video series is cool, calm, collected, sorted, build it yourself. The prototyping that we're doing here is make it up as we go along / panic. So, which is always quite a lot of fun. So we have a laugh. We do have a laugh in the evening. So we'll get onto that very shortly. Let's just have a look in the chat. So Sean's saying, done talks at club. I'm not a people person, tend to get sidetracked and talk too much about stuff. What, like I am right now? Yeah. It would have been fine, Sean. It just the printer messed up. And I was just like, no, not now. Not that night of all nights. Don't do it now. Anyway. Shall I show you some bits that I've acquired today? I may have to reset a camera, but let me show you some stuff I've got today. And then I have something I want to talk to you about in relation to Tiny Basic. So, my frame rate gone on that camera again. We had this problem the other night. You might remember. Hello, frame rate. Oh, for heaven's sake. We got frame rate there. That's fine. Just this other. Oh dear. You know what? As soon as we can move off onto another streaming machine, the better, I think. Right. One moment. One moment while I reset the camera again. Not happy, is it? Oh, let's pull all the wires out live on air. It was all fine. Then I speak for a bit, and then it's not fun. We had this the other night, and I think it's down to a USB bus. Let's just try that one more time, see what happens. Hey, there we go. That looks better. We've actually got some frames. It's great. There we are. And oh, for heaven's sake, now USB bandwidth. Yeah, I struggle with it. So that's why I want to move off this because oh, for heaven's sake. Can everyone just give me a moment? Okay, and that's an improvement. There we are. You can't see me. It's always an improvement. We were fine, and now we're not fine. It's like, stop not being fine. That's the wrong feed. Oh my goodness, come on. Come on. Stop doing this to me. Yeah. Right. Okay. You're working. You're working. You're working. If I have a laptop with built-in camera, disable it. That's one less USB device. I do. I don't know if you can do that on a Mac. PC, yes. Mac, don't know. Probably not. Planning on switching over to a dedicated... We talked about this. The X1, Chinese Intel single-board computer, which runs a x86 compatible. It's actually upgraded to Windows 11 now. And that was more than enough power to actually run this. So I'll take off this MacBook because it does struggle. And it's not that it's not powerful enough. It's just a stupid USB-C data bus Apple put on these things. It's terrible. Anyway, hopefully that's all right. And you can hear me and we're all good. So sorry about that. Let's carry on. So we were just trying to just zoom out a little bit. And I probably got the wrong lens on the camera, but let's see if that works. Right. Is anyone watching? Right. So I went to go and see Keris Locke today, who used to run the Stafford Recipe Jam. And those of you might remember that the Pie Jam it survived a number of things, running since 2014, and it survived all sorts of hiccups and being thrown out of venues and all sorts of things. It even survived COVID, but then the library, Stafford Library it was, kicked them out. We went into a pub type bar thing, but it wasn't great, and it just got to a point where, with the kind of where the makerspace type Raspberry Pi scene was at, it just felt it wasn't worth carrying on. Well, I am currently in the process, through my employer, Harper Adams University, of setting up a new computing club space type thing to replace the Raspberry Pi Jam. So it will be public facing next year. So we're going to do 2 test runs with students and invited guests. But we've got access to the labs, the lecture theatres. What we don't have is much in the way of resources. So, and the reason I'm telling you that is Keris very, very kindly offloaded some of Stafford Recipe Pi Jam's assets onto me, and that's what I went to go and pick up today. And Sean, so I just reading the chat. So Sean says, one tip: I sometimes use ESP32 CAN boards over Wi-Fi. Don't need USB. Yes, that's an interesting idea. I'll have to think about that. Do you know, I'm sure you mentioned that to me before, Sean, at a club meet. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. We've got a bit to do tonight. So, I haven't got everything up here, but I thought we'd just have a quick look at some of the bits I have been very generously given. So, quite nice sort of generic USB keyboard, membrane keyboard, but that doesn't feel bad at all. And I've been given 3 of these. Again, these are all assets that I think were donated to Keris originally, so it's not like she's bought all this stuff and is sort of now lost out, but it's all stuff that a lot of the other Pi boards and things went to another person, another educator, and this was kind of the stuff that was left over, which I said I'd take. So those are the keyboards. A lot of these Raspberry Pi, official Raspberry Pi 3 cases, which, you know, are quite nice, and so a few of those might be useful. Just trying to find places to put things. And then, and this is where I don't think this is going to fit on all together because I've got the wrong lens on, but we've got this. And I've got 4 of these, and these are Pi Tops. And these were definitely donated. So let's just take the... Get that the right way around. These are Pi Top seeds, as in CEED, not SEED. And it's just, you can't really see it there. Or you can just make it out. There we go. See, it's embossed. So, and So they're a bit mucky, but they've been in store for a while. So these are kind of like all-in-one Pi terminals. So you have a screen, and then you have a piece of acrylic. This is injection molded plastic. And then inside, we just slide. You've got a controller board, including voltage regulation, sound. That's the interface to drive the LCD. And then you've actually got, they've got Raspberry Pis fitted with SD cards, all in these. And the GPIO is, what does the GPIO go on these? I feel like I'm missing something here with the GPIO. Oh, unless the, I don't know, is these screens now? I'm trying to figure out what the GPIO does on these. But anyway, that one's a bit loose. But I've been offered, or now got, 4 of these that I want to use for the new experience, the new group we're hoping to set up. Basically, so people can have a play with Raspberry Pis, and I can run these as they're intended, so people can have experience and use them and learn, you know, Pis. So this has got a Pi 3, one of the original or first Raspberry Pi 3s, which are actually quite rare. So the Pi 3 came out, and then it was upgraded to the Pi 3B Plus. So this is a B original but free, and the B 3B Plus had heat sinks and cans and things fitted to it. So it was a little bit faster than the original 3, so you don't see many of these original 3 boards around anymore. I do own one myself, but it's quite cool to have another one there. So what I'm thinking of doing, if it's okay with you, is let's just have a look at this and see if we can power up. So it's got power supply. Don't know if that's everything used, it may have been. Got some heat sinks and things in the box. So let's have a look. Okay, so far so good. So we'll just do this quickly and then we'll move on. But I just want to have a look, see what happens. It's just, I think these have got some build of Raspberry Pi OS or Raspberry, and I don't know the last time they were used actually. So they weren't used a huge amount in the actual Pi Jams we had in Stafford, because most people bought their own stuff in the end. I just know that if we're dealing with students and new people that don't know this stuff, we're going to have people that aren't going to have anything. So it's good to have something. There we go. That goes in there. Let's plug that in. When I see a light that's come on, I think. Okay, how do you turn... hang on. How do we turn on? Well, that feels like the power button there. It should be, yeah. You should be pressing that. It should boot up. How are we booting up? Because there's no... oh, hang on. So is the GPIO the way? How does it power then? Am I being a bit thick? I am on at the mains. I don't know. Does it power through the GPIO or does it need... I'm assuming we might be missing some sort of cable in this one. Is this a... I've got 4 of these. I just picked up the random one I could find. I have a feeling we might be missing something, like a cable to jump power, perhaps. Oh, we've got power there. Yeah, okay. That's rather interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember the black ones ever actually being out in use. We had these like green ones and black ones. So, okay. Do I go downstairs, grab another one quick while we're here testing this? What do you reckon? I think that might be an idea. Yeah, let me just go and grab another unit. I want to get something booting tonight. Let's just grab another unit and we'll test another unit very quickly. And then we'll go and do something. We'll go and do something you're all here to watch. How's that sound? I'll be right back in a minute. And I'm back. Thank you so much for waiting. Got a cup of tea in hand as well. So there we are. Problem solved. I'm good for a little bit now. Right, so let's take this one away. Have I missed anything good in the chat, by the way? No. Is anyone still there? Possibly, not sure. Okay, right, let's just have a look. So I've got a second unit here. And let's just take a look. That one looks even worse, actually. Do you know what? I don't honestly remember these black ones booting, but let me just for my own sanity, let's just check. You're still there, Martin. Oh, thank you. I'm so pleased somebody is. Let's just see what these do, because Okay. Do you know what? I honestly feel like we're missing something in these because I don't remember these black ones being in service. Interesting. Because it's not, there's no power to the Pi on that side. So this, I honestly think, will be a video we'll look in separately. I'm not going to waste all our time on the stream with this tonight. But I think fundamentally I can get these running. It's not a a massive issue. I should have grabbed one of the other ones, but I'm not running all the way downstairs again, making you wait again. We're just going to move on. So, but yeah, Pi tops will need to be looked up. Hoping if I can get all of them running, that would be awesome. But if we can at least get 3 up and running, even if we have to put one as a Spurs, then I guess so be it. Also, I just show you this. We've got a few of these that were in the package I was sent, or given rather. And I remember Keris was trying to get rid of these, and there are these kits for audio amplifiers for Raspberry Pi. And I say kit, it's like a hat board that sits on the Raspberry Pi. And it does digital and analog output. So yeah, they're interesting. I've got a couple of these, so we'll see if we might be able to. We might just test one out. If anyone wants one, I might just put these in a pile for the new event and say, take them away, go and have a play with them, sort of thing. I think they're like an audio amplifier type thing. Which might be quite useful if they work with Raspberry Pi 5, because Raspberry Pi 5 doesn't have any audio output, analog audio output, sorry. So maybe they might actually be a useful one of those. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll have a play with that. Again, that will be another day, either on this channel or on Wi-Fi Sheep 2. But hang on, let me just put that back in the bag. You know what? I'll sort that out. I'll sort that out another time. I'll just show it over there for a minute. Right. Cup of tea. All is well in the world. Okay, let's talk Tiny Basic Computers. So, in a moment, we're going to look at the prototype again, and I'm going to carry on where we left off, although I think I've got to go and run in the other room and get some foam board material for what I want to do tonight, so I'll do that shortly. What I will say is I've been looking at or reading comments about the second video in the Tiny Basic Computers series, and also the Facebook group for the Project Rio Tiny Basic Computers version 2, so the second in the new series, which this project here on 8 till 8 relates to. And the project, in both comments on YouTube and also in the Facebook group, has been referred to, or kind of compared to rather, the Commander X16 from Dave Murray, the 8-bit guy, and this is Argon Light or Aragon. I forget exactly how you pronounce it, but there's another Z80 board which runs BBC Basic and Z80 sort of thing. And my project as Project Rio has been compared to both. And I mean, you can go and look at the comments yourself, but it's sort of, people go, oh, well, the Tiny Basic system isn't as powerful as this, and it's not as good as this, and it's like, I think you've missed the point. You see, I know the 8-bit guy has done the occasional update video on the Commander X16, but he hasn't sat there like I've sat with you, building the damn thing and making it up as we go along in real time, and you've certainly not done a tutorial series telling you how to go away and make one for yourself, which is the difference. Same with the Argon or Aragon or whatever the hell it's called. They're trying to sell you a product. It's about money making to sell you a product. I'm not selling you a product. This is the huge difference. You say, well, yeah, but Tom, you've got to join the Wi-Fi Sheep Patreon in order to download the files. Yes, but understand this: when you join the Patreon at any tier, you are giving me a monthly financial donation as a thank you and supporting me to make YouTube content. As a thank you for that, I give you some perks and gifts. One of those gifts is the content, the project files needed for either Tiny Basic Computers or Project Rio, depending on what tier. Okay, I'm not selling you those files. They are gifted to you as a thank you for your support of me for making videos. That's the difference. I'm not selling you a product. And that's what people don't seem to understand. So it's a little bit frustrating. Plus the fact this is an adventure we're going on together to build something. And part of the fun of the project is the build, if you know what I mean. And watching me mess it up. And also me, asking you for questions. So asking you questions about what I'm doing. So I just wanted to kind of just address that while it was in my mind. Will I do a product? People have asked me, are you going to do a kit? Are you going to do a kit? I don't honestly think I've got time. And if I ever did a kit, and it would only ever be a kit, I'm not going to make full-blown machines and try and sell them. I don't have the time. I don't need to do that. The problem is that, you'll always be able to source the parts cheaper than I can sell them to you, which is always going to be the issue. I might, if we get to the prototype stage and get the prototype to a PCB stage, then it's possible. I just realised I'll take my glasses off. It's possible that I might make a few, but my entire production run of a physical product you can buy would probably consist of 5 units. You know what I mean? It's not going to be on any sort of commercial scale. So, and that's not the point. The point is for you to have fun and to learn and to enjoy doing something pretty cool with very cheap parts that you might have at your disposal or lying around the house. That's the point of the project. So anyway, there we are. I've said my bit. Let's do something about the project then. Let's get on with that, because I know you've been waiting for nearly 45 minutes for me to actually do something remotely useful this evening. So, prototype is here. Let's just open up. So for those of you joining this, just a reminder, this is not a tutorial series. I'm not telling you how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing myself here. We're just sort of working it out as we go along, basically. Okay, there's the unit at the moment, as is. That's where we left it 2 weeks ago, because we had our BBS special last week. So, someone jumped on that, by the way, the BBS video. If you go in the comments on the last live stream, someone jumped on it earlier today, trying to promote their BBS without asking me on the back of the comments. I'm just like, really, the spam filter should have picked that up, but I've left it. But it has been noted, put it that way. Okay, let's unscrew. And remember where I put the screws, because I always do that every time. Okay, right. So, where we left off was I wanted to attach a button. That's good. That's fallen off already. I wanted to attach a button, which we did on this board, and I had a go at sticking it with foam pad things, which I'm really going off using because they sort of deteriorate and they're not working very well as far as I can see. So we need to literally think of a better idea, I think. So also I couldn't find the button last week, so I had to use this one, which is a little lower. I bought buttons with very long, like stalks or whatever you call it, and that worked much better. So I'm tempted. Shall I try and cut that out and put the button in I intended? I cannot speak tonight. I'm so sorry. I am really tired, which makes for a great video. I'm trying not to complain about being tired, but it's tough. So what I might like to do is take this button out, put in the better button. Martin last time reminded me that because of the way these boards work, I needed to cut, which I did. I cut the copper just to break the copper there to make sure it didn't bridge underneath the resistor. So, right, what I'd like to take the button out, which means a bit of a desoldering job. Which, yeah, you know what? Let's just get on with it and get that done quick. Before I do that, let's just make sure I know where the damn buttons are, because I found them the other day and I went, there they are, and then I put them somewhere and now I don't know what I've done with them again, which is wonderful. I'm also thinking there's something else I meant to tell you about and share with you, and I, for the life of me now, can't remember it. So it probably wasn't that important. Just bear with me while I have a quick scrabble around in the boxes again, because I'm so well prepared. And we will get there and get going with this, because I am very keen to get going with this. We put up today, and I'm just going to leave that on screen and tell me what you notice while I scrabble through and try and find what the earth I did with those buttons. Okay, any ideas? So this post that was put up from the museum today, and it's showing the STEM activity weekend they're doing shortly or something. And there is a group, or a father and son, I'm assuming, building one of the tiny basic computers that I sold them. So the kits and products I did make were sold and licensed to education establishments. And there, from today, or well, 2 days ago actually, but from very recently, is a post of the museum's version of the Tiny Basic system, which is the direct descendant of what we're doing here with Project Rio, which I thought was really, really cool. And I'll show you this. We might go into this in detail another day to get the right way around. So this is my version 4, the black and white Tiny Basic computer build. Let's just move that out of the way for starters. There we go. And I haven't fully tested this, but I've started to soup it up. So we've got a proper screw terminals for power to go in. We've got proper audio. Well, it's actually an audio, but it's one's video, one's audio. RCA jack, twin connector on there. And I've swapped out the original Nano, so it's still the same Atmega 328p chip. Let me zoom in actually. I need to zoom in anyway because we've got to do some work in a minute. But let me just get that right. It starts doing that whole blooming won't focus again. There we go, that's better. So this is really cool. So this is a Nano, and it's pin compatible with the other Nano. It's a bit wider, but it is completely pin compatible. And it has an LCD display on the screen, which is really, really cool. I don't think I've ever powered it up, you know. I wonder, have I got a lead to hand without scrabbling around and wasting more time that we could have a go at just powering that up? So I don't know what it does. Be very cool. Come on, jump out at me, lead. Where are you? Let's see if we can power up. That might be quite cool. Apologies if you can hear a budgie. I can hear a budgie. That's the wrong polarity of lead. Oh dear. It's a rough night tonight, I tell you. Where's all my cables gone when I need them? They'll go hiding. It's terrible. You just ended up scrabbling around trying to find things, and nothing shows up. Here we are. I found something. Again, I've not technically tested any of this, but it's not got Tiny Basic on. Let me just take that board out. Okay, so I haven't uploaded anything to this. I've never powered it up. So let's just see if the LCD actually initializes when I power up. That's the underside of the chip, by the way. So what they've done is they've actually had to move the 328p microcontroller onto the underside, and there is the CH340 USB to serial driver. That's the voltage regulator to go from 5 to... Is it 5 to... No, tell a lie. That's 9 to 5 volts, and then there's a smaller regulator for 5 to 3.3 volts on these. So it's got all the correct gubbins. It's well equipped. Now I need to... Oh, hang on. I need to run a USB power supply brick thingy. Where's one of those gone? Oh, it's over there. What's it doing over there? Right. So I was just looking for a an iPhone iPad charger so that we stood a chance of doing this. Okay. Oh, it does do something. Great. There we are. It has a sort of demo code on. Usually it's just a blink code. Let me see if I can just get that focused for you. There we go. That's quite cool. Greetings. Atmega 328p Nano V3 OLED display. How cool is that? That's quite a nice little display. So my thinking with this build is, as well as having composite video out, you could actually have the basic interpreter running on 3 lines. Let's get that in. There we are. 3 lines of text, basically, on the microcontroller itself. So you wouldn't actually technically need a monitor for it to work. So that's cool. I've never actually powered it up before. Just do a reset. I'll show you that again. Yeah. That's cool. That's kind of neat. I like that. There we go. That was worth it, wasn't it? By the way, I cannot for the life of me find my button things, so let's not worry about it. Let's just pop that out of the way. So yeah, that might be a project for probably next year now. We'll get around to doing something with that. Right, so we're not going to... I can't find a button, so we won't desolder. But what I was thinking, and that's why I went and grabbed some scrap foam, is those sticky pads weren't working, and it was a pain, basically. So I always keep offcuts of foam board. So little things like this, which is just offcuts of foam board. And what I'm thinking is if I cut some foam board, little cubes, we could then glue those and sort of mount this into the foam board like that, and we'll stick that on, and that might work. That's what I'm thinking. I had this brilliant idea the other day, and I also have my brilliant ideas, and they never execute terribly well. But also, all my stuff is, because I had to take it to work to do this robot rebuild work with the PCBs. All my stuff I had to take with me. The uni has tools, but you know what it's like in shared spaces. You never ever find what you're looking for because someone else has already moved it, used it, or lost it. So, story of my life, that really. Let's just put on the cutting board so I don't completely destroy the table. Okay, so let's. Maybe I'll get a knife that's not completely knackered. That might help. Stanley knife, that'll do. Right. So let's just, if we can, blade on this is a bit. Come on. Ugh. It's not my knife, is it? It's really, really not my knife. If I got another knife, it's a little bit better. That one looks appalling. There we go. Okay. So, let's sort of just cut a strip. There we go. Oh, bless. There's two of you that have liked it. I like the stream already. I appreciate that. This is not my finest hour this evening. I apologise in advance, but I thought let's go on live. Let's do something, and take it from there. So I said these live streams are never as sort of polished, if you like, as the videos. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is going to stick a piece of foam board just like that. Yeah, so stick a piece of foam board like that. And then, where are we? Cut that one. That, and then cut again, trying to make sure to do this actually on camera, not down here off the camera where you can't see. There we are. And then putting a sort of little block like that. So doing something like that now. Bit of super glue. Chatting about maybe using foam board as a quick replacement for cut plywood, laser cut plywood at work. I mean, a very quick stand-in replacement just to packet some stuff that needed like packing out, some adapters and things that they got like these wooden rigs for motor control, and they needed to adjust the components, and they didn't have time to get stuff laser cut, so I sort of suggested, well, what about foam board and just adapting what we have, which is the thinking now. So that's gone on and glued like that. That goes, and the button really neatly fits into the hole. I appreciate that's a bit blurry. So we could do that, and then just it's like a little secret button on the side. I would like it to have used one of the longer buttons, but it is what it is. My wiring has fallen out, which is helpful. Can anyone remember why I put 4 pins on this? Because we're pulling to ground, so your ground and yours, so it's that one to that one, so it's like that, I think. Yeah, okay. So let me, moment of truth, let's just put a little bit of glue just on there and there. Let's get this lined up. Button in hole. Just going to hold that. Oops. Glue coming through the side of the case. It's not ideal. Oh, hang on. There we are. Not ideal, but I can now push the button without needing to hold it from behind, which was the problem with the foam tape. So that's actually worked much better. So again, remind you, this is a prototype. We're just literally making this up as we go along. I've now got glue on me, so make sure I don't touch anything I don't get stuck to. Right. So that's on there, which is good. So we want to go. I didn't put my phone on silent either. Sorry about that. 1 minute. Nothing important. Right. So basically, when you press the button, we want to ground a pin on the Pi. Now this is the Pi original. I know you can't see that. We've already got quite a lot on the GPIO happening right now. So what the plan is, when you boot the machine normally and the Pi turns on, it goes to Pi GFX, which is the terminal, and the terminal basically talks to the Arduino and it runs, as you've seen, in a sort of a standalone graphics mode. Push the button down like that, turn the machine on, so it's off. You push the button, turn the machine on. Instead of booting Pi GFX, the Pi switches and it boots RISC OS. Okay, so or we could boot a Linux. So we could have multiple booting systems just by holding this button. So as we've got the Pi on board, we can use the Pi and we can actually flip it on its head. So it goes from being the dumb terminal and the Arduino being the main control board to it being the main control board, but it can still talk to the Arduino because it's still physically connected. That's the thinking and the plan anyway. In practice, I don't know at the moment. So let me just quickly check Pi 1 GPIO pinout. Apologies if you can hear dog squeaky tie, or dog squeaky toy, I should say. I am so sorry about not being able to get a single word out tonight. I can assure you it is just tiredness, unfortunately. Let's go GPIO at work. Okay, so if I just check, where am I? Okay. Having a coherent thought might help. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so there's 2 pins here on the something get out of it. Right, 2 pins right here on the end. Okay, so the top one is GPIO 7, and we're going to put. Oops, these do not like to stay on. That's another problem we've been having actually, is bad GPIO connectors. So that's gone on to GPIO pin 7. Okay, this one, which is our ground, the pin underneath GPIO 7 on this far end of the GPIO rig on a Pi 1 original is ground. Okay, so we've got GPIO 7 and ground, and when I press the button, this will ground GPIO pin 7. That will make a signal detection on boot up and should allow us to swap the ROMs. The next thing I need to do, which I'm going to regret doing, is I need to get the SD card out, which is going to be a little fiddly considering it's now embedded And if I can get it out, there's no guarantees I'll get this SD card back in. But we did try to make some adjustments so we could actually get it out. But then we found that the power supply issue, if you might remember, didn't work that well. As if I can get the card. Oh dear. Get the card out here. It's got stuck. For God's sake. Right, let's take that out so we can stand a chance. Let's take the GPIO out. Sorry, GPIO? SD card out. Okay, so the SD card is now out. And it's one of these adapters. There it is. Okay. And let's put that over into the Mac here. I've got an SD card reader. So I'm just going to try and put that in. Bear with me, you'll see something on the screen very shortly. Okay. That's not the right SD card, right? Oh, you could not make up tonight, could you? Brilliant. Right. Let's take that out. Again, apologies. Bear with me a minute. It's not the card I thought it was. Where's the card I thought it was? Is that hiding? Or did we put it in? Did we put it in another pie? And now I gone and had one of my legendary tidy ups, which means I can't find anything. 1 minute. Oh, hang on. I know what I did. It's here. It's okay. Panic over. It's here. There it is. Okay. So that one is just a straight Pi GFX, which is fine. This one is a little bit special as it has Pi GFX, but also RISC OS loaded on the same SD card. Now, I'm just going to put this, if I can get the card in. God's sake. Hang on. Let's take it out the adapter. Right, there we go. Let's see who's actually going to see it or read it or do anything with it. Would be nice. There we go. Okay. That looks more promising, so let's see if this works. So, I'm going to open up config.txt. Okay. And if I can remember which one that's on. Nope. There we go. Okay, so you should now see a window, which is just opening text edit here on the Mac, and that's config.txt. That's the config boot file that each Raspberry Pi OS SD card has on it, and it needs it because it needs to tell the Pi basically how to boot up and what to read. Now, if you had a straight Linux Raspberry Pi OS distribution, this would look a little more complicated. But as you can see, this one's relatively simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few commands to tell it what to do if it detects a pin high or low. That's the theory. Again, I'm testing this live, so do bear with me. So, what we said it was 7, didn't we? So, where it says kernel, add a couple of lines, okay? And we're going to set up a command in brackets, which is all GPIO equals IP.pu, okay? Which is pull up. So it will set GPIO 7 to high on boot. Now, this is the clever bit. I'm just setting up. So if I can now put in brackets again another command which says if the GPIO 7 equals low equals high, so 1, boot kernel.image. Okay, and kernel.image is PyGFX. Now, and again, make sure I've got haven't got a space. No, I haven't got a space. I'm okay. Copy. If it's 0, we're going to change which image we're going to boot. So we're going to say riscos.image, which is present on this SD card. Hopefully that might work, and that might be all we have to do. Make sure we save anyway. It's doing that damn thing again where it doesn't like saving to SD. Oh, for God's sake. There should be a simple save. It's not locked. It's not locked. I know it's not locked. Right. One moment. Technology, stop conspiring against me. I've had a hard day. Just bear with me. Again. I will literally just do a save to the desktop of my computer, put the SD card in, and I'll just drag and drop the file across if it's going to be play silly stuff and not actually boot or write, sorry. What do you mean I haven't got permission to write the file? That's stupid. Ah, for heaven's sake, right. I've never known a basic text editor to have such problems trying to I don't have permission to save the file. How could I not have? Oh, for God's sake! Right. Config.txt. I'll make a new file. Okay. Right. Copy and paste. No problem. Done it. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Right. I think it's set to try us. Let's see now. So I've got this. Hang on, I can't see my screen. There we go. Right. So adapter, full size, because we're using the old Pies and they use the old full size standard. Let's see if we can just get that card back in. This is going to be fun. Yeah, this is fiddly. Just a moment. There we go. Might be winning. Let's put the power back in. Okay. And breathe. Right. Power supplied, and I'm just going to untangle. Let's take out the Pi top one from earlier. Okay. So let's put this in. He says, famous last words. Let's get that in. Okay, there we are. Right, we're powered in. So that's power from the mains for the board directly to the Raspberry Pi, and as we learned last time, the Raspberry Pi is going to jump power to the main board. or the Arduino, I should say. Let's find where that USB HDMI cable went, which is that one there. Okay. Let's turn on my monitor and let's go to capture device, which we unplugged. Of course we did. This will now probably take all my bandwidth off, but let's just see if we can get that back in. Right. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, no. Hello, that's me. That's not the right one. There we go. Okay. Okay. Are you still with me tonight? Oh dear. Right, now. Moment of truth. Let's power up. Okay, PyGFX is loaded. No keyboard, that's fine. That's what we expect. Okay. So far, so good. Right, now, I could power back down. System is powered off. I'm going to hold my button. Let's see if this works. We'll see. 50-50 it works. Power back up. Holding the button. No, it didn't. Interesting. Okay. And we definitely tied that to 7, didn't we? Where's my... Yeah, we tied it to 7. Again, we've had issues with dodgy connectors before now, and these feel quite loose actually, so they might not be making a connection. Got to be a little careful when doing this. Okay, let's just try that once more. Let's find out. Button is being held. No. Okay, interesting. So, going to get in the wrong camera. Let's multimeter. Let's just make sure that circuit is doing what I think it's meant to be doing. Because you never know. Right. Multimeter, buzzing sound, or beeping sound rather. So, on there, this is going to be a bit awkward to do. Oh, for God's sake. Right, this is going to be awkward. Okay. So I push the button. Okay. Let's just check that works how I think it does on the jumper leads. They just feel very loose, which might be part of the problem here. They're just not making very good contact. They feel very loose. Let me just... I got a pin last time and just got a drawing pin. just tighten up those GPIO pin connectors. Just push that piece in. Just tighten them up a little bit. Let's just see if that's any better. They're not gripping, you see, which is the problem. That's better. Just make an adjustment to that one again. Just power down a minute. Okay. Might be too far the other way now. There we go. Okay. Right. So just going to try these. Shouldn't make any difference. Let's just try these the other way around. Right. I'm just having a thought. Does this even work on the Raspberry Pi originals? Because isn't it a firmware thing? I've done it before. I know it works, but that might be an interesting issue. It might not even work. That would be fun, wouldn't it? I'm just looking at the forum. It might be a Pi 3 or Pi 4 thing only. Oh, that's interesting. I might have overlooked something here. Oh dear, that's it would work then if we upgraded to a Pi 3 is slightly overkill for this. How interesting. Okay. Well, we've learned something tonight, which I probably should have checked on because I was banking on that working. So, interesting. So it does work. Just you can't run it with. Oh, that means that a Pi 0 firmware won't do it either. Then I'm assuming. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. Cheers, Gamer. I was just thinking that. No, I don't think it will. Because Pi 0 uses the same as Pi 1 firmware. Oh, that's a pain. Because that was a real thing. I thought, oh, we'll push the button and then it will flip the OS ROM over and that would work. I've done it before, so. By the way, as I've said before, I know I'm using Pi 0 originals here. That's not the intended final outcome, if you know what I mean. We will be using Raspberry Pi Zeros as dumb terminals for this project because it just makes sense. The main reason we're using the Pi, by the way, is because of the HDMI video capabilities, the composite video capabilities, and the fact it can run a USB driver. So that's the prime reason why we've been using Raspberry Pi as the video terminal. You can use other things such as ESP32, and there is a terminal program for Raspberry Pi Pico which actually works really, really well as well. And Project Rio can talk to and can send what's called escape codes to use these alternative terminal methods if you didn't want to use a Raspberry Pi. I am thinking ahead about that. So again, I was just suggesting you can use a dual SD card adapter with a changeover switch. Yeah, that would probably be the way we'd do it, I think. That's annoying though. I'm assuming Raspberry Pi 2.0 would do it. So if you didn't want the composite, where is my 2.0 these days? I don't even know where it is actually. I did a yeah. Do you know what? Let me just. Where is my Pi's 2.0 gone? So that's based on the free chip, isn't it? So that might work. Hang on. I think it might be in here. Can you even get 2 zeros anymore? That's a Raspberry Pi Pico. That's not what I was looking for. That's a Pico, by the way. It's not what I was looking for. I honestly haven't seen my. I don't think I've only got the one off memory, Raspberry Pi 02, and I've not seen it since I made the video about it when it came out. Which means I put it somewhere. Which means it is one of my legendary safe places. Oh, it's really annoying because I swear to God I saw it the other day. This is why I desperately need to have a filing system in order, because this is getting worse and worse and worse to do anything in this place. I don't know where anything is, which is wonderful. We'll rummage around. It's annoying because I literally saw it the other day. I went, oh, that's where that is. Oh dear. I was quite literally hoarding them at one point, but where on earth that is gone now? And you just know, as soon as I'm off stream, you know this stuff will just start appearing. Always the way. But nope. Nope, that's just a standard 0, isn't it, I think. One last ditch attempt and then I'll give up. No. No, not going to show itself. Brilliant. Ah, dear. Right. But that is definitely a. Let's just check. I had a few of these as well. Raspberry Pi. Yeah, because it's got the composite video ports. So let's just bring that to focus for you. Yes, it's got the composite video. That's how you can tell which one it is. That's a 0, so that's probably not going to be any good. I don't think the 0 is going to work, you know. Well, not for this switch. We could try. Could we try it on that? No, we couldn't because it hasn't got a GPIO header installed. The 2 is definitely not in anything. Was there a 2 in this cartridge? There might be a 2 in there. In that we can extract. Question now is, have I got a screwdriver small enough with me? Oh dear. Oh, rusty screwdrivers, because I've abused them with flux, so they go crusty very quickly. Let's just take this up. I've got a feeling there's a Pi 2.0 in here. I do have one because we did one for the review on the channel originally, and I never did anything with it. So let's just get into this. This cartridge, which actually isn't a cartridge, it's a oh yes, there we go. That'll do it. This was actually donated to me a little while ago. Let's just take that out. Right. Not quite sure what's going on. It's a bit of thermal paste or something. I don't know what is going on there, but not to worry. Okay, that should be good. Right. Take that out. 64 gig card as well. Right. Take that out. Power that down. Let's do this in order. Extract SD card. Put that in there. I need to short those together. How am I going to do that? Make a contact. Oh, that's a good question. Because I haven't put a header on it, have they? Don't know if this would work. Let's just check a moment. Actually, come to, that's 10. What did I say we were on? 7. Hang on. GPIO pin 7, 9, 10. So 10 ground, 25, 8, 7. It's that one there. That should be ground underneath. So it should be something like that. Because the GPIOs didn't move around and they just extended them. So that should make a connection. Now if I put on an adapter, appreciate you might not be able to see this. Let's just check where we are. No, I'm slightly off camera. HDMI in. Hang on. Right, HDMI in. Power is that one. Hopefully that's making a good enough connection. Power up. So far so good. I got that in for. Oh, hang on, that didn't work. Right. One more time. 10. 10. Actually, that's GPIO. That's not GP2. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, hang on. Let me get GPIO pi. So I was bridging the wrong pins. Hopefully that hasn't done any damage, but oh right. God knows what I was bridging. Don't think I've done any damage. Right, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's that one there. To ground there. Hopefully that's been alright. I've not put voltage or anything on where I shouldn't have. If I have, it should have been 3.3 compliant. So that does that like that. And let's see what happens now. So interesting. Very interesting. Straight through to RISC OS on a Pi 2, Pi 02. Now, this might be working. Okay. If I take that out, and let's try boot again. What does it boot to? Yeah. I was getting excited for a minute there. Okay, that doesn't quite work then. But it's pulling. Okay. Okay. That didn't quite work. Oh, I was excited there for a minute. Let's just try that one more time. No. Actually, it's a good demo of how quick RISC OS can actually boot. Okay, that needs a little bit of tweaking, which didn't quite go to plan. Let's pop this back together for the minute. Oh, I say pop it together. I might just leave that out for the time being, so I know I've got a Pi 20 there. Interesting. So I think we had a little bit of stuff to think about. I think fundamentally it's not going to change the project too much. That's a shame. So are we as in, am I putting a Pi 3 in this thing just to get it to do the dual boot that I want? That's annoying. Or is that a function we're not going to have? That is annoying. I need to have a little play with this and figure it out a bit more. I forgot. I thought it was all points, but clearly it's just the 3, 4, and maybe the 0. But I'm going to put a GPIO header. Why on earth has my Pi 2 gone? I'm trying to think. Is it in something? Have I used it for something? Possibly. I honest to God can't tell you. If it is used, I can't tell you what it's in. I honestly can't remember. No, I honest to God can't remember what it's in right now. Which is annoying. Oh dear. You know what, people? I think we've made enough mess and chaos tonight. I might leave it there. Come up a little bit early. Mainly, as I said, I'm actually quite tired this evening, so I'm not making a lot of sense. So with the project and where we need to go next is obviously need to try and finalise what I'm doing with the prototype build itself, and start to try and tidy up the back section here. So get this sort of plated over, maybe cardboard, maybe we could use a bit more foam board just to pack out the back, make it look a little more presentable. Need to tie these connectors, loose connectors, down to something. As Get1 suggested, we could look at doing an SD card switcher externally, which is possible. It's just annoying, but we could do that, I guess. I'll have to have a play, have a think about it, decide what I want to do. But yeah, it's all coming along, and we are getting there. So before I go then, quick reminder once again that the Risk West Christmas Market Show event thingy is happening on the 9th of December. So if you could make it down, it'd be great. But obviously it's not a full-blown computer show. It's a very small, low-key, acorn tilted event. But it would be great to have your company. Also, a reminder before I forget that if you're watching me in the UK live, the clocks go back tonight and the UK leaves British summertime and returns to Greenwich Mean Time. So we'll be back to GMT 0-100 hours as of 2 a.m. This morning. So, or tomorrow morning rather, if that makes sense. Hopefully I'll be in a little more of a fit state and be able to actually string a sentence together next time. If you've joined me tonight, thank you so much for your company. I should be back next week to do this all again. And I'm just looking at that header. Interesting pin header on that, actually. Sorry, getting totally distracted. But we will call it a night for tonight. If you haven't done so already, please do consider liking and subscribing. And I hope to see you real soon right here on the channel, or maybe this time at 8 o'clock next Saturday for another edition of 8 till 8. Until then, have a fantastic evening. Good night.